Yes, I do. Until I met you, I was dead. An impotent corpse existing behind a false guise of life. A life in which I did nothing real. Day to day, I merely went through the motions of living, as if I were a zombie, and I always had the feeling that I was gradually dying. If I'm condemned to go back to that, then I'd rather...
Stop it!
I have a question for you, Lord Guilford. What do you do when there is an evil you cannot defeat by just means? Do you stain your hands with evil to destroy evil? Or do you remain steadfastly just and righteous, even if it means surrendering to evil?
In either case, evil remains.
A paradox. Is it merely wordplay?
In the name of Cornelia, I choose justice!
I understand. In my case, I commit evil to destroy the greater evil.
Yes, your highness.
What's good, y'all? What's going on? My camera probably look weird. I don't know. Let me know if it look weird or not. I feel like it do. Cause I'm holding it in a different angle. I don't usually hold it horizontal. I usually hold it vertical. I don't like holding it like that. Like my whole phone is locked on vertical mode, so when I turn, it can't switch. I just don't fuck with it. I'm holding it like this because I think it fell out the screen better when niggas play back the vid. I don't know. I'm gonna see after. But now it's good with y'all. Back today with another hit. I'm about to drop some more juice. Fuck. Son Snoop in the cut. Y'all already know she stay on bullshit. What I really wanted to introduce the topic, because I seen something scrolling through the social media or whatever, and it said, I actually damn near forgot what the fuck the post was said, but I know it has something to do with if you evil, you either die a hero or stay alive long enough and be evil. Some shit like that. Some shit like that. Some shit like that. I don't really know. Some shit like that it said. The camera feel weird holding it like this, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Can't do it. Some shit like that though, but long story short, it had Lelouch up there, it had Light up there, right? And I'm like, you can't consider Lelouch and Light. And I'm saying Light from Death Note, Lelouch from Code Geass. I say Code Geass, but it's Code Geass, whatever you want to say. I say you cannot consider them a villain. Why you can't consider them a villain? Because they had righteous intent in their heart. Even if you say Light got corrupted in the end and he became narcissistic, he became whatever the fuck demon on nigga he became, it came from the core of righteousness though. It went and morphed into something else. Feel me? A wise man, Young Pharaoh once said in his song, good and evil, same frequency, different forces. Right? He had righteous intent in his heart. It made it got molded and morphed into something different. Egotistical and fucking demonized behavior, but it was started from righteous intent. And he acted upon it. He didn't sit around like most of y'all niggas be doing. When y'all know y'all mans be on some fuck shit and he doing some demonized activity around you and you don't say nothing to him. No, he acted on it. He did something about it. So he had righteous intent in his heart. You cannot consider him a villain. You cannot consider him evil. Is what I should say. You cannot consider him evil. Especially Lelouch. You cannot consider him evil. Because he committed evil deeds, but he had righteous intent in his heart. Righteous intent in his heart. He did not do the evil deeds with evil intent. He did it with righteous intent because he wanted to make the world a better place for a person that he loved. Simple. You cannot consider them evil, because good and evil is two sides of the same coin, right? When the coin is like this, when you like this, you don't obtain either perspective, but you fluctuate in between it, right? Consider this the coin, right? This is good, this is evil. If I fluctuate this, I'm now jumping from good to evil, right? Good to evil, jumping from both two sides of the shit, of the coin, two sides of the perspective. I'm tweaking my perspective to see from both sides, right? When I tweak the coin, when it's splitting like this, when it's stood up vertical, I'm able to see both sides. But when I turn, I'm only able to see one side. There's no such being that could exist. I mean, it's no such human on this earth that could exist on one frequency. That's not possible. You gonna be like this, and you gonna fluctuate. And when you try to turn too much on one side, that's why the art of yin yang, the Taoist masters, when they came up with that philosophy, nigga, that's why it's still fucking relevant to this day. The yin yang, nigga. You're not gonna be in the yin, all the way in the yin, without that little dot of yang in there. It's still gonna be there. You can't remain solely on one side. You can't remain solely righteous, and you can't remain solely evil. The goal is to remain balanced, right? But at the same time, when you really look at what they was doing, they committed evil deeds, but it was righteous intent behind that. So could it be considered evil? That's the question you gotta ask yourself. Could it be considered evil? Do simply committing evil deeds make you evil, regardless of intent? Or does the intent behind it justify the means? Which decide if you evil or not? That's the question we gotta ask. Which decide if what makes you evil? What makes a person evil? And my philosophy is the perspective. Like I said, when I'm treating my perspective is like this. I fluctuate from either side. But if I focus my perspective on one side or the other, now I'm preventing myself from gaining the other perspective, and I'm not remaining balanced. And in doing that, trying to commit to one frequency is not possible. So just my philosophy is simply perception and perspective, your perspective on it. Good didn't say, let me give you an example, right? Murder is considered evil, but animals murder each other all the time. They murder each other all the time. Some may do it to survive. Some may do it just simply because they don't like the other animal around their territory. But do the means justify the fact that he just murdered somebody because he had to eat? Do that make him evil simply because he murdered him? Or is he righteous simply because he had righteous intent behind it? I'm gonna let y'all process that. I'm gonna let y'all think on that for a second. Let me say something. Like, let me give y'all another example, right? A demon, their good would be your bad because their perspective is shifted to this side and your perspective is shifted to this side. So, like I said, it's inverted. If you try to commit to one frequency, it's inverted, right? A demon, which is contrary to the righteousness in a person, their good would be your bad. Unless you a demon too, then y'all both, his good would be your good, nigga, and y'all commit to that. But I'm saying, if you're a righteous person, a demon would be your bad, and a demon's good would be I just fucked the whole shit up. Look, a demon's bad would be your good, and your good would be a demon's bad. Because y'all on two different sides of the coin. Y'all on two different sides of the spectrum. Y'all on two different sides of the spectrum. Good and evil is merely a perspective fluctuating in between each other. Inverted. Fluctuating in between each other. If you remain here, you're not on either side. But if you remain here, then you committed to one side. You shifting yourself and you boxing yourself from seeing the other perspective. Let me ask you, let me just ask y'all something, right? A solely righteous person, right? Or a person you would consider a solely peaceful person who has no ounce and just committed to the perspective of peace, who have no ounce of violence, of violent action. That person could be the deadliest nigga in the world. But because he has shifted himself from only being on peace, he's unable to defend himself against violence acted upon him. I made a quote the other day, right? It goes like this, something like this. I can't remember it right now. I be making the quotes on myself, and I just be putting my pics on captions and shit. But it goes something like this, right? Refusal to commit to action is permission to be acted upon. Let me say it again, run it back for y'all niggas. Process this. Listen to this with your third eye, right? Refusal to commit to action is permission to be acted upon. Let me explain it now. If you don't act and you're waiting to be acted upon. Even not acting, the act of not acting itself, something is acted upon you when you're not doing anything, which is time. For example, time is acting upon you. We all age, even if we doing nothing or if we not doing nothing. That's just an undisputable fact. So we're not doing anything, we are being acted upon. If I'm being punched in my face, if a nigga say he gonna punch me in my face and I refuse to commit to the action, if I refuse to commit to action and I don't beat the fuck out that nigga and knowing that he's threatening me, I'm giving him permission to act upon me. If I just say, okay, he's gonna take that as permission to act upon me. It's the same thing. They had righteous intent in their heart, which made a lot of other people, their peers probably did the same thing, but they didn't commit to action. They refused to commit to action. Lelouch, he went all the way. He didn't give a fuck. He sacrificed everything, every single thing. And he gave his life at the end, after sacrificing everything. Only thing he had left to sacrifice was his life. He sacrificed his dignity, his image, all of that. Only thing he has to left to sacrifice was his life, nigga. And he gave that up too. So I'm gonna ask again, to end the video off. Well, yeah, just think about that. Who the fuck yelling? What the fuck? Who the fuck Snoopy at? Snoopy. Oh, she was just chilling. So I'm actually again to end the video off. Would you consider light to be evil? Would you consider Lelouch to be evil? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Y'all gotta tell me from your perspective. I can't tell y'all about what y'all think. I gave my philosophy on it though. I love y'all niggas, man. This is just a little calm night chat. I wanted to do that because I live so much in the present. I honestly wouldn't have gave a fuck. If I didn't come on here to work Snoop, y'all wouldn't have never even seen this video. This video would never even came into existence. Because I wouldn't give a fuck about it after I already had the thought. Once it becomes an afterthought, I let it go. If it come back, it come back. But I love y'all. I'm about to see how this shit looking when I hold the camera like this. Yeah, I don't know, nigga low-key looking low-key good out here. Y'all like hitting a nigga. Nah, I love y'all. Y'all keep elevating. Like so Immaculate, I'm out. Peace.